Hello guys, welcome back. In this video we'll be learning about pop-ups and about timers. So these two are important concepts to implement our later project, which is a to-do application. So let's get started. Now if you see, we have already imported Qt quick controls and material style. So what's a pop-up? Right, when you click on some stuff here, for example, let me click on edit preferences. This window appears, which is called a pop-up. So this is basically a pop-up. Now pop-up does not have any anchors, only center in works. So you cannot say anchors dot top bottom something, right? Because it is not hooked with the parent. It's very free to like. So you can say anchors dot center in parent, or if you want to put it somewhere else, you have to use x and y. So we'll say x something, y something. Now I want the pop-up to be in the top middle, so I'll say y 40 for some margins or 30 for some top margin, and x will be, this is the root, so root dot width minus, let's give some ID to this pop-up, so I'll say my pop-up, so root dot width divide by 2 to bring it in the exact center, but then the pop-up will be taking the full width, so we need to subtract half of its width to go shift it to the left, and then it will be in the exact center, right? This is actually explained in my previous x and y positioning video. You can go and watch, very simple stuff. Also it requires some width and height, so I'll say width 200, height 40, 50, yeah 50. Now you can place any item here, right? Rectangle or something, right? So all works fine. Excuse me. Now by default a pop-up is not open. You have to perform certain actions to open the pop-up, like clicking on the button. So we'll be doing that. I'll say text open pop-up pop-up, and on clicked I'll say my pop-up dot open. There is a method for open, there is a method for close. So we'll open it and we'll say anchors dot center in parent. Now let's see. Now let's click on this, and as you can see there is a pop-up here. If you like, it's white in color, so there's a problem. Like, I'll change the background. Well, let's see how it's implemented. So let's copy this. Excuse me. Now instead of color, we'll directly say some random color. Green, okay. Radius will be around 5. Enabled will be, instead of control, it will be my pop-up here, because this is exactly that. Here the control is for the pop-up, right? And every place here is referencing this ID. So externally this pop-up has an ID, my pop-up. So instead of control, we will be saying my pop-up, right? Basic stuff, we are just customizing what's there only with our own colors, so that is visible to the eye. As you can see, it's visible and there is a grayish layer, right? So if you click anywhere outside, it will close, right? So there is also a property of pop-up called modal, MODAL, and if you set it to true, it will gray out or put an overlay on the other elements, right? So if you see, there is an overlay for the other elements, right? So that's for the modal. If I remove the background, okay, so enable will be, I think, true, I guess. Let's see. Okay, so the color, I think the overlay is happening on this pop-up also. something must be second dialog color. Okay. If I just remove the background for once, and if you see, I think the board will be more clear to you guys. Excuse me. As you can see, now it's more clear, right? The background color is grayed out, so it's very easy to see that that is a pop-up. So that's what model. Now, if you click on it, you have to click outside for it to close. So we can also implement a timer. So after certain time, it will close automatically. So I'll say timer ID will be pop-up timer. Pop-up timer. Now there is something called interval. So the duration for which the timer should run. So 1000 means 1 second. This is in millisecond, right? Millisecond. So 1000 millisecond equal to 1 second. So this is 1 second. So after 1 second, I want the pop-up to close. So just like action, it has a signal called on triggered. So triggered, sorry, signal is triggered. So we'll handle that. So on triggered, we want the pop-up to close. So I'll say my pop-up dot close, and this timer should start when the button is clicked. So on clicked dot start. So when the button is clicked, the timer will start, and after 1 second, it will stop. So we also should set repeat to false, so that this timer will not repeat. Like we do not want to always close it. Like just close once if it's open. So let's see. Excuse me. Let's wait for 1 second, and it will close. Let's wait 1 second. It will close. Yeah. So this is the timer thing, right? So after 1 second, it will trigger this method, and we will close the pop-up. So this was about pop-up. Let's try to customize a pop-up like this. Very good, like notification pop-ups. So we'll be doing this successful toast thing, right? Successful thing we'll be implementing, because we need that in our to-do application. So we'll create a component here, add new Qt QML file. We'll call that utils and slash custom popup, or you can say app popup. Anything works fine. I'll say app, or yeah, anyway, app also works fine, right? So that, and remove this, import all of this, and excuse me, let me rescan the project. It is not added. Now it's added, so I'll paste that here, and let's cut this thing and paste it here. Yeah. Okay, so excuse me, there is an issue, like you cannot have two items together in the same scope, right? You should have one item, and so let's put the timer inside the pop-up, and this timer will start with the pop-up. There is a signal called on about to show. When it's going to show, then it will start. Like what this means is, when you from outside say my pop-up dot open, then it will try to open the pop-up, right? And when it tries to open the pop-up, this signal is fired. So then we will start the timer, so that after that it will close. Now instead of my pop-up, here we should use control, because now control makes more sense, and X and Y will be setting from outside, right? Correct. So excuse me. Yeah, I think this should work, right? Instead of this color, let's add simply green. Remove this layering thing, no need for that. Now we have to say uh, we have to import the URI because this is in utils folder. That is not the same folder, so I'll say import to do app. Now you can use uh, app popup, and for button we have to import QT quick controls, obviously. Material, right? Let's build the application so that the app popup is they can like parse it properly. Yeah, now it should be able to parse this app popup. Now it's able to parse this app popup, right? So now what we have to do is we have to set some x and y. So I'll say x is first I'll call this my popup. X will be the same thing, right? Sorry, root of width by 2 minus my popup dot width by 2, or simply width by 2 because this width is simply my popup's width, right? So because this is the same element, so y will be around 30, and on button on click my popup dot open. Let's see. Excuse me. And as you can see, it worked exactly like the same thing. Sorry. So for the notification, we don't need the overlay thing, right? So we'll say modal false, or just simply remove this modal thing. Let's see. Perfect. But when you click outside, it will close, right? We don't want that, so we'll say there is a flag called close policy, and we'll say popup dot no auto close. So there are some flags for close policy. One is no auto close, it will never close. Close on press outside, close on press outside parent, and close on escape when you press the escape key, right? So there are a lot of flags. We'll not be closing it because the timer will already close it, right? So we don't need to close it when we click outside. And as you can see, it will close. But if I click outside, nothing happens, right? So that's it. Let's now try to design this. So let's choose the color first, background color. EAF7EE. The radius will be height divided by 4. So I'll say control dot height by 4. I think that's the radius which they have given us. Now it has some border, so let's see the border color. It's okay, CEE4D2. Let's give some border color. Border dot width 1, border dot color. Okay, this one. Now we have set the border. Let's see how it works, how it looks. Looks good. We have to increase the width. I think this width is not good enough, so we'll say width 300. Let's see. Looks good enough, right? We should also increase the timer to 3 seconds. I think 3 seconds is a good enough time. And as you can see, yeah, looks good enough. And also it waited for 3 seconds. Now we have to fill the content, the actual content inside. So first is the image, then there is a text, and then there is a close button. We don't need the close button, obviously. We can implement it. On click we have to say popup.close, basic stuff. So we'll only implement the first two things, right? So first, this is a rectangle with an icon, image icon. So I've already added an icon here, this tick thing. Now we have to place this inside a white rectangle and then inside a rectangle. So we'll do that. Let's do that. So I'll say row layout. So for that I have to import qt.layout. Excuse me. Import qt.layouts. Excuse me. I'll say anchors.fill parent, but now inside the we have like items inside this layout. Here we'll use layout dot something, right? So I'll say layout dot alignment qt.align v center. So it will be vertically centered, and we'll say width 24, height. Wait a minute. So there's a green color rectangle. Inside that there is a circle. Inside that there is a tick image, right? So yeah, there are layers here. So first will be a outside rectangle, width 50, height 50, and color. Let's see the color. This color 37B359. Now radius will be height divided by 4. Inside that there is a rectangle, width 36, height 36, radius width by 2, so it's exactly a circle. Color is white, so I'll say color has FFF. Inside that there is an image, which is our image, width 24 or 28. Let's go with 25, 24. Let's go with 24, height 24, fill mode, image dot preserve aspect fit, and source this check.svg. Now anchors.centered in parent, obviously both of them. And for the outer thing, because this is inside a layout, so I should have used layout.preferred width and layout.preferred height. If you already catch my mistake, good job. Let's see. Cannot open. Obviously, I have to set CMake auto RCC on. Now it should work. Okay, this is not placed correctly. I have to say layout dot layout dot alignment q dot align v center. Now let's see if it works. Okay, this is still not in the center. There must be some reason which we are like keeping. At least let's see if the structure is correct. So the structure is almost correct, right? So the issue is with the layout alignment thing, right? So instead of that, we'll say layout dot fill height true. Let's see if that works. Fill height true. Now let's see. Okay, so the issue is there is some margins going on here, or there is some padding here. So the padding is 12. So we don't need padding. Or do we need padding? We need only left and right padding, right? So we'll say padding to 0, left padding to let's say 16, right padding to let's say 16. Now this should work properly. Now it will get the full 50 height which we have set here. And it did. So instead of setting height manually, let's skip this and let's give it a padding of 12. So top and bottom padding will be 12, left and right will be 16. Okay, so we had to give the height there. They had mentioned that if there was one item, the pop-up should take the height. If only a single item is used within the pop-up, it will resize to fit the implicit size of the content item. But if it doesn't, then we'll give an ID to row layout. But here we have anchors.fill parent, right? So we cannot do that. Uh, and also we have fill height true. So what's the issue here? Okay, if it fill height true, we had to give the height here, right? Obviously, I got it. Got the mistake. I hope you got my mistake too, right? So this rectangle is relying on this parent's height because it says fill height true. So it's relying on this page side. So we have to set 50 here. And instead of 50 we'll say 70, and padding will be 10, so 10 padding up, 10 padding down, right? So it will still take 50 height, but padding will be 10 up and down. Yeah, perfect, I guess. Or is it? Let's reduce the padding, and let's reduce the height. Also radius has to be smoother, so I'll say height by 3. I hope this works. So this is basically customization, right? I think this is good enough. The left padding is a bit too large, so we'll reduce that also. We'll say uh, let's keep all the padding to 5. I think this is good enough, I guess. I think almost looks the same. Border width should be 2. I think the width is too less. Where was the border? Here. Now let's go with the text. So after we also have to give some spacing of, let's say, 15 or 16. After this, the rectangle thing. So after that there is a text, and we'll pass the text obviously from outside. So I'll say always set properties after ID, so that it's easier for someone to see what properties is this expecting. So I'll say property string pop-up text, and we'll say this text will be control dot font point size 12.5, weight font dot demibold, and layout dot alignment q dot align v center, and color will be white. Let's see. Okay, my bad. To pass the text from outside, I did not do that. So nothing will be displayed. So I'll say text will be open the pop-up. I have to put this in Q string, so I'll say QSTR. So it translates if we add translations later. It's not able to find pop-up text. I think we have to, okay, whatever changes I did here was, okay, this is messed up because of my code. Don't worry, I'll just copy paste here. Yeah, now it should work. The color should not be white actually. The color should be black, guys, because white is not visible. The color should be black. Arey, my bad, my bad. The text color should be white. Yeah, now this should work. Okay, so the alignment should not be center actually, because it should start from the left after some gap. So the gap is given by the spacing. Okay, explicitly set the alignment. Why is it not picking that? Spacing of 16 is too much. No. This fill is spacing and see. Okay, so there is some issue with the text. I'll say layout dot alignment q dot line left or q dot align v-center, but actually for text I shouldn't use that. I should use vertical alignment and horizontal alignment. I think that could be an issue. Yeah, I think that's an issue. So instead of this I'll do not cute, I think it will be text dot align left, although both macros are work fine. I think we can remove this thing and see. Okay guys, I don't know what's the issue here. I should work normally. There's something wrong with the cute creator. It's filling the parent and there is some spacing here. If I say okay, if I say item layout dot fill with true, I think this should fix the issue. Yeah, that fixed the issue. The issue was that this text thing, like without, like the row was not eating the entire width, so it was trying to do some issues with mismatching the items. So if I set the spacing back to 16, it will work properly. The issue was that the without filling the entire width, it will try to center the text in the remaining width, right? So the remaining width was this. The remaining width was this much, and it was trying to center the text there. But now, because we are eating up the entire width by a default item, now it will place the item properly. Some of the funny stuffs of layouts, but uh, with practice, like we'll get the mistakes right. Like I like got some issues here. Obviously, we can also set the vertical alignment here, or just this should also work fine, I guess. Yeah, it did. So anyway, that was about pop-ups. Uh, we'll also be working with the next project to do application, and we'll be using this pop-up there. So good thing we implemented here. Thank you for watching.